welcome to the Ladies of Selling LA Luxury podcast, and I am your host, Angel.
I'm your favorite host, Anne-Marie.
And we have a special guest for this bonus episode, which is going to be your favorite episode of all of our podcasts.
Yep.
With the Jasmine, our Director of Operations. She is our rock star, and I'm excited for you to be here. How do you feel?
Wow.
Very excited.
That sounded
very
so
excited, but also like, ooh, these topics.
They're real.
Woo! Some real topics.
I know, but that's what it's all about.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Please don't have a filter.
Oh, she doesn't.
No, but I think she's gonna try to on this one.
I'm not gonna try to have a filter.
Don't.
When do I ever try to have a filter?
No, she doesn't.
You just have to ask the right question.
Oh, I'm gonna ask the right question.
Okay, let's start
You want
asking.
to? All right, you ready? Okay, so let's just get right into this. So I'm gonna give a little bit of context so you guys understand what you're walking into before we get down to the juicy, unfiltered, real
raw.
behind the scenes. Yeah. So Jasmine is my best friend, and we were able to work a few projects together because she's a jack of many traits and she brings so much value to us. And so we happen to, at the same time, we've always joked about working together and
We
said,
did work together a few times over the last few years when I had my other company.
correct, but we always like joked about like permanently,
No, like
taking over the world
Taking
together.
over like world domination.
Yeah,
Like that.
It's always been a thing that we talk about because we're both Capricorns and super Capricorns. So that's what we have fun doing.
I'm getting Pinky in the brain.
No, really,
vibes
that's what
right
it is.
now.
We
It
are.
is Pinky in the
Totally
brain.
is. I'm
Yeah.
totally getting those
But that's like our
vibes right
social
now.
life. Like our social life is totally, even if we're drinking, having fun, which I can't do often because I'm always pregnant, as you can
She's pregnant every 7 months.
see. No, every 18 months, I give me a little bit of credit. But that's what we do for fun. We sit there and talk about what could be the next thing, how can we work together, all of that. So this wasn't truly planned, but it was definitely manifested, I would say that. So just for some context. So had a need. Jasmine had what we needed as far as those projects were concerned. So it was a project-based start. And then at the same time, our team was the Titanic, and it shipped the sink. Oh, wait, it sank the ship. I didn't even drink.
You didn't drink anything.
I don't need you to be funny or to make mistakes.
It was the Titanic.
It was like the Titanic.
We were
It was just
going
like
down.
down we go. And so while we were going down, we were making a lot of changes, and we got into coaching, Anne-Marie and I,
Yep.
because we have, if you've been watching, have very vastly different ways of doing business
Very best.
and plans to do so. And so instead of fighting about which way is the right way, we decided, let's get a third-party person that's done this before, helps others do this, and then no matter what our difference is, if our coach says whatever he
This
says,
is what to do.
that's what we
do
do it, and we let it go and we leave it there.
Yeah.
So one of the things that got brought up in that was, while our Titanic ship was sinking, to hire someone for director of operations.
Correct.
No, we did start on a project base.
Yeah.
So we started with a few projects.
Yeah.
Which very quickly escalated into me getting a phone call from Angel and saying, "What would it look like for you to be full time?" And I was in the middle of something, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?"
I'm like, how do we take you from everyone?
Like, how much does it cost for you not to work with anyone else?
Yeah,
But
that was the question.
also, we didn't even talk about, you guys were best friends, but you guys grew up in Ohio together.
Yes.
So you're still remote right now, and
I'm on the East
we're in
Coast.
LA. Yeah, we're in LA. So not only is it just, hey, come work for us, how much is it going to cost?
So like, how do we also move you here?
Right, and
Was a
what does that
conversation.
look like until you can move here? So there's a lot of literally moving pieces in this.
It escalated.
On top of
very
that, if we're
quickly.
being really honest, if you haven't learned by Anne-Marie's ways yet, she's definitely not the risk taker.
She's a hard sell.
And she's a hard sell. She doesn't like to spend a lot of money. She's like, she definitely penny pinches everything that she can, which is why, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. We need that because I like to
Balance.
spend a lot of money. I've learned recently, and I'm coming to that realization. So going from having an admin to an operations manager ticket was not an easy thing. But I would say that just getting to the point before we start asking you questions, the reason that you ended up jumping on board is because we went to a blueprint.
Yep.
And then everything
Tom
we
Ferry
learned at the
blueprint,
Tom Ferry blueprint.
Yep.
I said, Anne-Marie, we have that in someone right now. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, we can keep doing it your way, or we can try it my way.
The definition of insanity is.
And I was like, but we've been working with Jasmine for 3 project bases now, and we have all of the things that we needed besides the real estate experience, which we'll touch on.
Yeah.
I was like, we have Jasmine. And she's like, but do you know how much Jasmine costs? And I was like, well, do you want to do this again for another year and a half and come back again and say, oh shit, this.
Can I say I was sweating to send that email when I told you guys? I was like, let me put something together for you. I'll send it over. And I'm like, shit, I have to copy Anne-Marie on this email. She's about to see this ticket.
Because she's the one that's like the final say in our finances unless we have to make it to our coach.
Yeah.
So that is like a little bit of backstory. So we were a hot mess express. We had to revamp everything. We thought we knew everything. And if I'm being completely transparent, Anne-Marie had already built businesses before. And what I learned in this part of the journey is that she was shielded by her ex-husband in some of these processes. So
entirely.
I'm leaning on you. You're the OG, triple OG. Like, you don't know what you're doing with this. And I'm like, oh shit, let's look to our coach to get some advice, right?
Yeah.
So we said, screw everything we think we know.
We have to put trust in the process and put trust in somebody who has built what we're building before, which is our coach.
And so that's when the call went to Jasmine. I just wanted to make sure she was even on board. And I was like, I don't even know if Jasmine would, but I think so. And then here we are, fast forward, June 1st was your first day, and you walked into the hottest of the hottest mess expresses. So unpack that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we started on project base, right? Like, we started on project base. There were a few things they wanted me to handle. But then very slowly the questions started rolling in on, can you do that? Well, if you could do that, can you do this?
Yeah, it was that.
And, well, how much does it cost for you? I called my director of operations and I was like, I think we've been infiltrated.
And that's your mom.
My director of operations has been my mom. I owned a wedding planning company that specialized in destination. And if you can imagine, when the pandemic happened and gathering and traveling were done and not happening, I had to transition. So I called my director of operations and I was like, I think that they're trying to take us over.
And we were plotting.
So I had to regroup my entire business because I had other clients who I had, on retainer and different things like that. But I knew that the vision here was what I wanted to grow with. Like, you guys were who I wanted to grow with. Mm-hmm. So we did some revamping.
A lot.
We did a lot of revamping, and then I stepped into the role June 1st, right? But we had been working together since April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think maybe even February.
Maybe even February? Yeah, it had been a little bit of time, but it was just project-based, so it's not as intimate. Mm-hmm. This shit gets so intimate. Like, I feel like I don't need a boyfriend. Exhibit A, Exhibit B.
Yeah.
What do I need a boyfriend for when they blow up my phone all day?
Yeah, we're a lot to handle.
So I think, and I don't think you guys give yourselves enough credit. There were systems in place. It's just that systems in place don't matter if they're not documented, because if you both, God forbid, anything happened to you, it's all in here.
Yeah.
Or scattered across
Google
Drive.
We were the systems.
Yeah, they were the systems.
I was essentially doing what I could do of director of operations, and that was not my skill set. Mm-hmm. I was trying to implement my degree from Pepperdine is to the best of my ability.
Yeah, but for what? When you have, you can be focusing on the things that are revenue generating.
Agreed with you, but when you have a business partner that didn't agree with you, then we had to take some time to get here.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, people just nudged you at the same time.
But the universe,
wait. I do have to say, when we started with our assistant, we started to implement those SOPs. They just never fully got implemented
or created. They were like
there were outlines. Very vague outlines.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
but I'll say that the universe does not make mistakes.
No.
So we were supposed to go through all that to lead us to this, because if we would have tried to hire a Jasmine back then, Jasmine wouldn't have been the person that we hired, right? So
it was perfect timing.
Yeah, it always is divine.
Yeah. So I don't think you guys give yourselves enough credit. There are systems in place. There were systems in place, but I just think that everyone was trying to work in every area in the business, on the business, vision. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like every single part of the business, and nobody was mastering anything. And I feel like we're still working through that now, right? Like we're still trying to like build a plane while we're flying it over water.
A lot of water.
With no life jackets. Or those little blow-up boats or floaties.
I'm skydiving up.
Risk taker.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm skydiving up.
Yeah, Angel has a different plan that she didn't. We're missing.
We need a side note after this.
Yeah, no, like she has a plan we don't know about. But it's been good. I feel like we've really been able to dive into trust and transparency and communication and really understanding the vision. So for me, it was like, I'm not just walking in on a contract here with a real estate company with my best friend and her business partner. It's like, no, I'm invested in this. Like, where do we want to be in 5-10 years? What do you guys want to be doing? What do you want your team to look like? So it was a lot to come into, especially like, and I don't know what you guys talked about before, but especially when like they're like, actually, we are done, we don't have a team anymore, and now we're restructuring everything, and you know what I mean? Like it was just a complete 180.
Yeah, we're like that. We're like, we might be firing our team.
And I was like, wait, what?
We don't know what's happening, to be honest, but we'll know in hopefully 2 weeks, maybe 3. But in the meantime, in between time, can we get started? Like,
it's just like,
that was what we said.
So we started building all of these systems out, and I will say it's interesting because we're trying to build the plane while we're flying it, but also like we have like 17 other little planes that like are vision planes that we're like, okay, we need to start taking steps towards those those areas. You know what I mean? So it's been interesting, but I love it here.
I feel like until this last 2 weeks, I think we finally are getting to a place where we're like, this is your strength, this is your strength, this is your strength, go with it.
Yeah. And
And before it was this battle, right? Because when it comes to like the operation sides of things, you're the master, but I'm the vision. And Anne Marie's like the heavy in the sales and the contract. Like we all have our own place, but me being the one with like the vision and caring about the things that are like, you know, futuristic, the brand, the podcast, all those things, like I feel guilty stepping away from the sales, right? And then I also don't want Anne Marie to not be the face of the vision, right? So it's like finding that balance to where you're behind the scenes doing these things, but like you still feel valued and you don't feel like you're misplaced. Like, how do we get there? And I think it wasn't until you came to Tom Ferry just 2 weeks ago, a week ago, where we were like, now you kind of understand, which is going to go into my next thing. Now you're starting to kind of understand.
Well, we're in harmony now.
Yeah.
Like we're all in our own space. We're all in harmony now. And I feel like it's only going to get better from there.
Yeah.
Once we find that like real nice balance, you know, like a little here, a little there, a little razzle dazzle.
we
were all razzle dazzle in there for a few months.
Well, touch base on, because your background, like you said,
I was just going to say that. Because
not real estate.
Tom Ferry is like the first. Like, we were like, we have to bring you. So because you need to understand what we're building. And, like, we can only explain it to such a small degree, you know? So, I need you to see those people that are on the stage that are where we're going to be in the next few years. So you can help us build it. And so, that was probably the first time
that was a game changer.
That's good.
That was a game changer.
Tell us about that, because there is no background there. So, like, you were...
Well, because 90% of the time, outside of the, like, normal things that you know, as, like, someone with my experience, it sounded like they were speaking Mandarin to me. Truly. I was like, what? What does that mean? And, like, I'm seeing emails come through, and I'm like, wow, I feel really out of the loop. Like, I don't, you know, I just don't know. I know when I see jazz. dash... then I know that I need to step in. But outside of that, I was like, God, this is what is I have like no real. I got my real estate
acronyms too.
That's gonna take a little while.
Yeah, that's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
Give me until the end of the year. Can we get through quarter 4?
Okay.
So it's been interesting. interesting, but I think that the Tom Ferry Summit really helped me because I was able to also see other people on stage who do operations for these real estate professionals. You know, hearing the lingo, seeing what they're doing, what's working for them, what's working for their team, getting new aspects and insights as to what's working. Where I've just been, I mean, you guys know this though. It's not like I went into this like, yeah, I have real estate. No, they knew.
Yeah.
I was coming from the event industry.
Yeah.
But I have the foundation, and I feel like that's all you really need in general, you know, with people in your life, with you know, professional relationships. I feel like if the foundation is there, then you can build and learn the rest.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we're at right now. But Tom Ferry, that changed the game for me because I was like, oh, I get it now. 1 and 1 is clicking. Like, you know, because it's hard when also I'm not with you guys every day.
No.
Like I'm across the United States in Cleveland.
Right.
You know, like it's
Cleveland,
difficult.
represent.
Yeah, it's difficult to like be in the everyday life with you guys and understand the dynamics in which you're working when I'm really only available via email on our phone calls. I'm not there with you for meetings every day.
Right.
To hear the lingo and to learn. So it's been interesting.
And you've been amazing, like even jumping in, one of our big things is text messages with our clients, right? Because we want you in the loop, we're in the loop, the client's in the loop. We never want anything to fall, you know, between the cracks. But you have been amazing because we're sending out all these, you know, group text messages with our clients, and you're getting the lingo, you know, you're like, you're not hearing the conversations that we're having with our clients, you're only seeing the text messages. So kudos and hats off to you because it's to our clients, it's seamless. They don't even know.
They have no idea that you have.
And I feel like it does bring an elevated, in any aspect, like in any industry, it does bring an elevated experience to the clients when you do have someone to pass those things off on. That they know that it's being passed off. Like we have someone who handles that. You know, just like all of the other areas. We have a TC, we have an ISA, like we have all of these different areas, and I think it brings a different level of authority, you know, in this space for your clients to know, like, we got this shit. Like, there's somebody for everything. Also, on that note, I'm gonna put it on record here. I need a business phone. 17 group chats a day, and I'm pretty sure I sent the wrong text message to someone this morning. And I was like, "Oops, my bad."
Oh, yeah.
You know. So just on record. Everybody in the comments, support me.
you heard that request. That goes to Anne-Marie. And then to our coach, Anne-Marie said no. So I'm the easier one. I'm like, okay, cool. We'll try to call
man, those group chats.
Wait, do we still have flip phones? Are there still flip phones?
I am not getting a burner phone, Anne-Marie.
Does that even save us money in
No!
life? No.
Do you see what I'm dealing with? They're both attacking me.
No. Anne-Marie.
Stop it. You can't have her out here looking like she's a
Can you imagine?
dealer from back in the 90s.
Anne-Marie, so good, it would be seamless.
With a trap phone?
Yeah. That's good.
No, good. You
Great.
shouldn't.
We shouldn't know. We shouldn't know either. I hope my kids don't ever know.
Same.
But like back in the 2000s.
So to make this clear, I am requesting an iPhone. Not a trap phone or a burner phone, Anne-Marie.
Got it.
It's in the budget. Officially.
No, I think that you're doing amazing too. I feel like we knew, like for me, it wasn't a hard sale because I know you, right? And I've seen your growth over, I don't know, I think it's been like 7 years now. 8 years now.
Going on 9.
Going on 9. Yeah, she's not counting, but like that's where we're at. If it makes you feel better, I don't even remember like birthdays for my own family sometimes. So like, don't be upset. Like I'll be planning my kid's birthday on a Friday and it's on Sunday because I'm like, damn, it's already May. And so
it's a true story.
So yeah, there's just a lot of things, moving things in my people in my life. So don't be offended. I don't.
I'm not offended.
Okay. Not my specialty. But yeah, for me, it wasn't a hard thing because I feel like you're like me, and no matter what happens, you will figure it out. Mm-hmm. And if you have that mentality and you already bring the value that you already have, and then you're like, but I'm going to figure it out, and I'm ready, and I'm invested, and I see this, and let's do this. Anything else is possible. Mm-hmm. So, like, you've been killing it. Like, I feel like Tom Ferry, I agree, was a game changer. We went there, like, if you guys are listening to this and you go to Tom Ferry and you are, no offense, but some of the people that are like, hey, you trying to come party and drink with me on, like, my lunch breaks? And, like, After hours, no, we are not there. We came there with a mission. So every lunch, we were masterminding with other people. Every lunch, every after hours, breakfast. We had breakfast with like 17 other
At
agents.
6:30 in the morning. For the record.
It's not that.
6:30 in the morning.
She's saying that, but our regroups are 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
every single day.
8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. While I've been here, they've been 5:30 a.m. and I'm waking up. I'm staying with you, Marie, when I'm here, right, at her house, because she loves me sometimes. And so I'm waking up and my hair is like all over here, and I'm like, I'm ready for the call. My laptop's on 3%, but let's do it. So, it's just a lot of adapting.
But I love the text. I'm on the couch.
Yeah, she's like, I'm taking
I was like,
the
I'm not
couch
coming
today.
to the table or the desk today. I'm taking this phone call on the couch. It's 5:30 in the morning. I do not have children who are going to be in the kitchen at 7.
But my point is that I think that it was like information overload, but it was so like we came there with a purpose. We're like, Jasmine's with us, our team is with us.
Yeah.
Who do we need to meet with? Who do we need to network with? What are they doing? What are they not doing?
How can we grow?
How can we grow? And I
Yeah.
think that we left there with the pivotal things that we needed to
A lot
change.
of clarity.
So much
understanding.
clarity
A lot of clarity.
and understanding. And I feel like it's like ready for takeoff. Like we have, we came back and then the Capricorns and Jasmine and I were like, we can't start this next week without having a system.
We had about 14 hours between 2 days of regroup after Tom Ferry.
I was like, Amber, are you joining us? She's like, no. And I was like, cool, we'll just fill you in of where you need to be and when and what your roles are. And she's like, I'm gonna kill you. But
I need a nap.
but we didn't make you come. We did there's a lot, I think there's some resistance there too, but I would have been grateful. Like, I get to take off this Sunday and you're going to restructure my whole entire business for us. Great. You guys are fucking amazing. I'm going to hire all Capricorns. Moving forward, everyone.
That needs to be our next graphic online, hiring Capricorns.
Only.
Only.
Because we are crazy.
We did a disc assessment for you too.
Yes.
You were the first one.
Yeah.
18 months in.
Did we review that?
We did.
We did, yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. They sent me a link and I answered all these questions that took forever.
Yeah, because I did the most detailed one. So we can get down to the nitty gritty. So we can see
and it worked.
So we can see where you're at and then where you might be placed in the future. How we can grow this empire.
It escalated quickly. But it's been great.
I feel like everything with me escalates pretty quickly, so
Yeah, you have no chill.
a little bit.
It's great.
It doesn't look very great.
It's great. She has no chill and neither do I, so it works.
So we talked about your background. We talked about the Hot Mess Express train that we are still on, but growing and learning every day. We talked about no real estate experience, being across the nation, not even being here in physical form.
Yeah.
And helping us build an empire, which makes you a fucking rock star.
Yeah.
Please bleep these out. Beep, rock star. So, what else do you want to touch base on? I think that.
Well, I think if Jazz has for any agents or people that are starting their own team or just want to get better, what advice would you have, because you came into us when we
outside
were
perspective,
the Hot Mess Express, what advice would you give our viewers if they need a Jazz?
I feel like this is the heavy one.
Yeah. Trust.
Okay.
Trust is the main thing. I feel like if you have somebody on your team or you're looking to bring somebody on your team, you have to have trust. This is not a surface level relationship.
No.
At all.
Mm-mm.
When I say, I was joking, what do I need a boyfriend for? No, really?
I have one and I don't need to spend time with him.
It's a very intimate relationship, I talk more to these two than anyone.
And
Okay.
I have 3 children and when I'm away, and I talk to them more than the man I created an entire family
and that she
with.
lives with.
Yeah.
Okay? So trust is essential. I feel like if you trust somebody, because there's been moments where we've been in meetings or we've had brainstorms or masterminds, and you guys don't know this, but it's kind of blown my mind that they're like, I don't know, whatever Jazz says. And I'm like, that's a lot of pressure. Like, what do you mean this isn't my business? This is not like that. I don't know. I can give you advice. But I think that speaks volumes when you have somebody on your team who you can say, I don't know, whatever Jazz says. I mean, even like during our podcast filming, there's been times where Angel was like, I don't know, whatever Jazz says.
Hiring our production company.
Yeah.
Whatever
Oh, yeah. We hired our production company, right? Shout out to Swerve Media.
Shout out.
And like, so I got the contact, right? Meantime, I think that she knew who this company was.
I gave her the contact.
She gives me the contact, but I'm thinking like, this is the person that I want. This is the company that I want to hire. And so I go look them up. I'm vetting them. I'm like, oh my God, their work is amazing. Like, this is great. This is going to be professional. This is going to be on point.
And she's like, Angel, what do you think? And I'm like, whatever you think.
She was like, great, sounds good. And just send the contract to Anne-Marie.
And then I think like 2
days ago. 2 days ago, she's like, wow. And we're just in casual conversation. She goes, wow, Swerve Media is really great. I just looked at all their stuff and I was like,
you just looked at all their
She's
stuff?
like, we have a
this is the first time
tomorrow.
we start filming with them tomorrow. And she was like, I mean, I trusted that you vetted them. I was like,
why do I have to do that?
Trust is everything, because I feel like from their communication, transparency, we have a very transparent relationship between all three of us. I feel like it's gotten even more transparent and raw, unfiltered, and juicy as we've gotten more comfortable. But I think that that's the main thing, is you have to find someone you trust, because if you don't, you're always going to be second guessing. You're going to find yourself micromanaging. You're going to find yourself second, guessing whether they can be the same voice when you're not in the room.
Yeah.
And I feel like at this point, there are certain things where I know what Angel would like. I know if Anne-Marie wouldn't go for it. Like, oh, Anne-Marie's not going. I can promise you that. Anne-Marie's not going for that. I'll tell you one thing, so try again.
Wait, I feel like you're about to throw me under the bus.
So I have one question.
Oh, no.
I have a question.
Sweating.
How is it working with two completely opposite
That's a
personalities?
great question.
Like I asked this because we've talked about this in other podcasts, but I truly believe that we failed employees before because we thought we were on the same page with things because we assumed and it was really terrible. And then when things would come up, Anne-Marie would be like, Angel, you let her do what? With who? Like, I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't have? Like, why are you mad? Like, and she's like, Angel, this is not how this works. I'm like, well, she needed to have a workout buddy, so she should come in like 15 minutes later so she could have that workout, like accountability. It makes her happy. If she makes her happy and she works more, then we should have her come in at 8:15 instead of 8. What do you mean, Anne-Marie? Like, these are real, like, that was a real situation, by the way.
It was not. For the
It was
record.
8:30. It was 8:30.
This is
It was
nothing to do
8:30.
with me.
Okay. This is Jasmine.
But it wasn't about Jasmine. But my point is, but
just for the record, this was not me.
but my point is that we had situations, in the past, and I'm sure
that we didn't agree on.
And it still comes up that we don't agree. I think we're getting
100%,
better. I think therapy is going to make us even better. So I'm so excited for that. But we haven't started that yet.
I co-sign.
But how does it feel having two different types of leaders in this space? Like vastly different leadership.
It's
To be honest.
No, I know. Honestly, I haven't.
Sip my tea.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna get. I need coffee.
It hasn't really been that bumpy. Truly, there's been a few situations where I literally have had to be like, Anne-Marie told me this. I come to her and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this. Anne-Marie told me to, and she's like, no, and I'm like, this is none of my business. This is above my pay grade. Have a conversation with your business partner. This has nothing to do with me. Just tell me what the bottom line is and send it in writing in an email so nobody's fighting with me about what the outcome was, right? So it's, I think that we found a good balance of, especially with the regroups. I feel like that keeps things from getting crazy.
Who started those? I'm sorry, I just had to do this.
Angel Collins.
There was some resistance about these, but I think that they really help.
The regroups have helped because it doesn't allow more than 24 hours to go by for anyone to be out of the loop.
Yeah. Or if there's something that you're not happy about or something that you thought was going to happen, like, so every morning at 5:30, we do a regroup. and whatever time it is, it doesn't matter. We just do 5:30 in the morning because unfortunately they're sacrificing, but my kids need me at a certain hour. And so I feel like once we started the business day, it's too late. Like we just kind of need it all being
we get sucked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just wouldn't happen. And so, or it's rushed. So we do it at 5:30 in the morning every weekday. And I feel like it also gives a chance if like we're going through something and something wasn't completed to be like, well, why wasn't that done? Instead of holding on to being like a week later or days later and you're pissed off that there was an expectation
Well, there's
that
resentment.
that maybe wasn't communicated or wasn't realistic or whatever it was, and we get to just touch point.
It's like a relation. It's like a marriage.
It is. It is.
We're married.
We
We're
are
a throuple.
a throuple.
Truly. I mean, everything you're explaining is how people maintain their marriages.
Yeah. It's true.
All right.
You know,
So I have the
so
book.
it works.
I'm gonna write a book on healthy marriages. I haven't even got married yet, but I think I'm getting all the key points to get there. I'm doing all my
Watch
business.
the podcast.
But it is
Apply it to
difficult.
your
It is
personal life.
difficult with like I'm always in the damn middle. I'm always in the middle because one is like, ah! And the other is like, ah! And I'm like, ah! Like, I don't know. I have ideas for both ends, or when I agree with both, I can become like the mediator almost at that point. And I think that's been helpful too, is like a different perspective because you both are in your routines, you're both in your ways, also willing to, you know, change those things up when necessary, but it brings a different aspect and perspective versus like a two-way conversation. So, I mean, you both can be difficult.
Oh, I know I am.
I can be difficult.
I know I am.
But I feel like we're
I'm
just
passionate,
learning each
yeah.
other. Like we're learning each other and what makes each other tick, what pisses the other off, what triggers the other, what makes someone go silent.
Or how silence makes people mad.
What irritates Angel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone is we're just learning each other. And I think that's the biggest thing is you have to be committed to learning your team. Not everybody operates the same way. Not everyone is a visual learner. Not everyone is, you know, is a hands-on learner. Some people need a little bit more hand-holding. Some people need, you know, you to walk them through things, need support. So it's important that, you know, you learn the people who are on your team. Because, like I said, it's like a relationship.
And their motivators, I think, is so important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you've been amazing. I love that you're like on board with us and
I'm
willing
done.
to do this crazy business life of ours together.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the vision is just insane, especially with this one. You know what I mean? Like,
Pinky and the Brain taking over the world.
I don't know. I just don't think small. And
you gotta think big.
And I feel like I can't have people. You either have to believe in my crazy, or you have to be just as crazy as me to be on the team. Like, you know. So it's like I have Exhibit
I'm
A.
crazy.
She believes in my crazy,
and
I'm
insanity in itself. Like,
and she's like, I am crazy. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like it works.
I feel like we have a good harmony going on here.
Yeah,
I like you guys a little bit.
A little bit.
I love you guys.
Thank you.
A little lot.
Was it the tequila? Where's your shots? One day we'll be able to do that.
One
together.
thing that I really enjoy about this team is that when they make me do podcast episodes, I'm allowed to have a bottle of tequila on deck.
I think I'm pretty good at finding like the little push for everyone. So Fireball's her jam, but I don't put that in my house.
But we haven't had Fireball since we were 21, so I don't really know why Anne-Marie is drinking Fireball, but that's another episode for another day.
She's like, do you have Fireball? I was like, I
haven't
got
had
premium
that.
stuff. Like that was in college. Like
When we were broke.
Yeah. But
I'm thrifty with my money.
we didn't know.
No, but one thing that I will say that I pride myself on to this day, and I don't even know if you know this, but Angel called me after they signed my contract, and she was like, I just want to let you know something. And I was like, what? And she goes, that was the fastest I've ever seen Anne-Marie sign a contract and pay an invoice in my damn life.
I'm not kidding.
And I was like, no way. Because I knew Anne-Marie was a hard cookie to crack, like a hard nut to crack. Like, it was like, I was nervous going because we had like a whole pitch meeting, and I was like, here's what I can do.
Well,
for
I
you.
also gave you a little heads up. I was like, here's a forewarning label. like,
Yeah.
But you showed yourself on those before, right?
Mhm.
Before the full contract. When
That's another thing. The trial and error. Like we did really, really great with that. We had
Yeah.
a 3-month trial period where we just did project-based things so that we could see how each of the other operated, what like our deadlines were looking like, if we were like a good fit, our personality-wise, you know, just time management in general.
Mhm.
And I think that worked really well for us. So we had a very solid foundation walking into like a
Right.
retainer contract of us working together and me being a part of their team.
Yeah.
So now it was just like, it was the commitment of that. And I feel like the trial and error period really worked for us.
I think it was important too because you were my best friend, so I was like, I don't want Anne-Marie
We
to
were
feel
scared.
uncomfortable. So I'm
scared.
like,
Right.
is our friendship going to be impacted negatively? Is Anne-Marie going to feel like some type of way because we have this closeness? So I'm like, let's
We didn't want to
try it.
jeopardize that. We didn't want to
Yeah.
jeopardize, but we also didn't want to assume that would happen because other people say that it happens. And it does. But we didn't want to not try. Where like, if we jeopardized it in 3 months, there's time for us to like
Still
Figure it
say-
out.
still figure it out. Like, we cannot work together. Let's
Yeah.
just keep our friendship. Whereas if you start going and a year goes by, there's way
Yeah.
too much damage. We're getting into tussling, you know, like it's just there's no mending that. So
Yeah.
I think the trial period was good, and it made us all feel comfortable together. Because as comfortable as I was with Angel, I had just met Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
You know, like we were just getting to know each other. Now I'm her favorite.
Agree. She might be her favorite, to be honest. Because I annoy the shit out of her. I'm like, Anne-Marie, hi Anne-Marie. Hey, you know what we're gonna do today? Here's another thing.
And I'll be like, Anne-Marie texted me back, and Angel would be like, she didn't text me back.
I'm like, she answered your call? What? She's ignoring me.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
I said it's been fun like it's over.
You're not going
I
anywhere.
know.
We are married, in case you
I
guys
know.
didn't know this.
Like I said, we're a couple.
Hi. You guys
We're
signed on the
a
dotted
couple.
line. And plus, I feel like I'm the type of person, like, once you're in my life, like, unless you're really shitty, you are going to be in my life forever. Like, we just
some
become
capacity.
family. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Shape
we
or
just,
form.
yeah, even if it's for, like, closeness in a season, but, like, we're always going to be, like, in each other's heart. So it's like, well, but don't even get any ideas because you're not going anywhere. And,
Well,
like,
she
this
is.
is
She's coming to LA.
even closer. So if you guys have a place for her that's like my neighbor or something, if anyone's selling next to me, let me know so Jasmine can be my neighbor.
We need about 15 minutes of driving distance.
10.
10.
Anytime.
10
Because we
10
can work.
works.
Yeah, we
Jazz
can.
has
Actually, I've decided I'm moving in with Anne-Marie.
I was just gonna say you have 2 requirements. No Altadena where there's a zoo with peacocks and tortoises and dogs, and no North Hills, Northridge area.
She liked the places over here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We'll see. Stay tuned for where Jazz.
I'll be
is
here
gonna move.
soon. Waking up at 5:30 Monday through Friday.
Friday.
No.
Friday.
You
The
have to get up
tequila.
earlier because we have to have the 5:25 text message. Somebody in this throuple
Someone started that. We're at
needs a
5:25.
needs a 5-minute heads up.
Can you text me if we're gonna be ready in 5 minutes so that I can get up out of bed?
Okay, first of all, they're saying it like that because it's about me, clearly. But secondly, it's because sometimes my kids are up at that time and they're like breastfeeding back to sleep. Like Luciano's breastfeeding, like so I have to sneak away. And if they're not going to be ready, I don't want to try to like jeopardize the sleeping of my child.
Moral of the story is it really starts at 5:22 to 5:25 ish. So I'll be in California soon, taking 5:30 a.m. calls. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, we can start training at 4 a.m.
No, you think this has gone too far? This has gone too far. I love you guys.
Is there anything else you guys want to share?
It's your episode. What else do you want to?
I don't think I have anything else.
Was that good therapy or what?
Therapy?
I think that was great therapy. I'm good for like a good year.
See, you messed up.
I'm good
You messed
for a
up.
year. Like I feel so comfortable right now.
Anne-Marie,
Therapy.
the whatever I told in one of the episodes still stands.
Thi-
End of the year.
You just called this therapy. I did my part. I went to therapy.
No, I said consistent self-therapy. or we're gonna be.
This has nothing to do with me.
This is before she came along.
Okay.
So this does not count towards that. So
I'm
sorry.
going to count down to the 3, 2, 1 so that we can end this episode. Comment, like, subscribe, DM.
Let everyone know. Let Anne-Marie know that everyone believes in therapy and how great it is,
Let everyone know how loved Jazz is.
and how she's the favorite for sure.
Of the 3 of us, she's
Oh, why'd you look at me like that?
she's the favorite.
So you guys already know the deal.
Trouble.
Anne-Marie told you. Don't forget. And if you have any other questions for Jasmine and you'd like us to, do another bonus episode, we'd love to have her on. She is a rock star and shining star of our team. So, yes. Until next time, beautiful humans. Namaste.